So today we're going to see about this garbage collector. Okay. So sometime in MTA exam, they might ask you what is this garbage collector and garbage collection. See, garbage collection means they will going to release a memory. Okay. Means unnecessary memory that are occupied by variable or any function or method, it will going to be released by this garbage collector. When you're going to implement this, they will going to release that. Okay, for example, you have created an object here. Okay, garbage t1, this is actually the name of a class, and you have created a variable t1 t2 object t1 and t2 here, and you are initializing a null value. Now, when you call this system.gc, system.gc is a function which is requesting the JVM to do garbage collection. Matlab, what does it mean? JVM is responsible for looking how much memory occupied by your program and how much memory you can release it so that it can be occupied by some other program. You only think like suppose you have a 2 GB RAM. In that 2 GB RAM, if suppose 1.5 GB is occupied by Eclipse, okay, then you have left only 500 MB. So you wanted to open one more window or one more of suppose IDE, suppose IntelliJ and all, will it be run? No, right? Because you have very less space in the RAM. So how you can solve that? You can do by running the software or programs, okay, by releasing the memory. The memory which is of no use to you, you can just release them. So any variable that are occupied a memory, like here t1 is equal to null. So you t1 doesn't occupy any variable. You have only initialize a null, but still as this variable is created, it will occupy some space. So as you call this system.gc, it will going to call the JVM. Okay, system means at system level only it will going to release it. So you can just in that system, system will call the JVM and it will say JVM to calculate the memory and release that. So at the runtime only, this will going to calculate the memory. And when you call this runtime dot get runtime dot gc, it will going to release the memory. So how you do that? Here I just call one function protected void finalize throw throwable, and through in that function, let me run this and show you. Let me close the this. So you can see here garbage collector called object garbage collected and garbage dot garbage at the rate this one means they have called this and they have collected this garbage. So this means what? This means this object means current class object. So what is an object? I told you object means it's a variable and value. So in the exam they won't ask you in a deep, they might ask you function like this. So suppose they will give you system and dot in drop down gc vc, which function is used for garbage collection, then select gc. Then they might ask you runtime dot get runtime dot gc. So they might ask you the question which function you use to release a memory and calculate the memory. So from this you are calling the jvm to calculate the memory, and this will going to release the memory. So now the question is, why do we use this throwable key, this keyword here? Okay, uh, in MTA they will not ask in this throwable. Till now we haven't seen that, but this is actually in case if any in this method if any error occur, they will throw the error. Okay, suppose if while running this method is having some error while collecting the garbage collection or while printing those memory or the id of those variable, here you are using this, right? It means that this class object current class object This keyword is used to represent current class object. Are you aware about it, this keyword? Okay. Anushka, you?
No, sir.
Okay. So this keyword is used to represent the current class object. It means that this T1 and T2. Okay. So suppose you wanted to working with the current class variable only. Suppose you have inherit this class. Okay. So you have inherit this class into another class, or you are reusing this class. So in that case, uh, if the variable name are same, you will get confused. For example, window 8. Window 8 also having all the features that you see in window 10. Okay. Uh, except tiles kind of feature. Window 10 also having this, when you open it, you will see the very all those adobe or like a date we have. So there we need to use this keyword to represent the variable which are common in both window 8 and window 10. So if you use this keyword, it means that you are talking about the current class, either it is window 8 or window 10. Now is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, bro.
Okay. So they might ask you this keyword, what is this keyword? Then just select the options where it is written that this keyword is used to represent current class object or current class variable. Remember this one only. Okay. So with the help of garbage collection, what you will going to do, let me run and show you. Here also what you have done, finalize method, what they do, finalize is one method which are called by your garbage collection internally, so that they will calculate it, like how much memory they can release it. So here also we have used the same method. Okay. This finalize method work is to calculate the memory they can release. It means with this variable system.gc you are actually calculating memory and you are releasing it, but this will become active once you call this finalize method, because obviously this is internally all the things are happening inside this finalize method. So this finalize method will going to determine like how many resources, or like resources in term of memory, that you can clean up, that you can release it. So this is about garbage one. I will going to release means share the code. I will going to share the code with you. Don't worry, you can practice that. So here you can see public void finalize is one method, and this is my main method. I told you how to create an object, class name, object name, new keyword, again class name. Here also class name, object name s2, new keyword. See, there are two objects you are creating, so name should be different. If you take the same name, it will give error, right? You can see it is giving error because you have already have a same object. So always take a different object name. Now, once you create an object, you are assigning a null value to that. So as you call system.gc, it will going to calculate how much memory your program is occupied, and the flow will immediately go to this public void finalize, method, and they will going to collect the or garbage, or they will going to release the memory. So like this is garbage collection works. String buffer, as I explained string buffer, has I explained string buffer in the
Not yet.
class? Not right. Yeah. So there might be asked, see, we have seen that with the help of string variable, you can print it. So there is one more way of printing this string content, that is a group of character, is your string variable. Okay. How it works? See, string, you need to import Java IO buffer reader. Why do we use this string buffer? Why do we use buffer reader? Any idea? Okay.
सर सिर्फ सी में,
Sorry.
सिर्फ सी में आइडिया है।
हाँ, यस, बताओ।
गेट सी एच और अनगेट सी एच इसका एग्जांपल है बफर।
Okay. So yeah, means buffer get ch. Okay, might means I'm not sure about it C में, but like buffer string buffer का जो use होता है in Java, why do we use this string buffer is to occupy the memory. See, normally whenever you declare, now here suppose string name reader dot read line, what we have seen that how we declare a variable, I have already explained you in the previous session, right? So string buffer, why do we use? So that you can reuse the memory. Suppose if you have used string name reader dot read line, you can read the whole line at once. So this buffer reader will provide you efficiency in term of reading a memory. If you put the cursor here, you can just read that, read text from a character input string, buffering a character so as to provide efficient reading of character array and line. So this buffer reader, when you use it, you can read as many as line of the code. Okay, there is a no restriction on that. You can read any line of the code, and this buffer can be, there is no need of initializing any size. Are we initializing any size here? No, right? Same thing is says here. The buffer size may be specified or default size or may not be specified. They are large enough to save the data. That's why we use this buffer reader. But if you declare the string or array, in array what you do? In array you have to give the size, right? That how much character you want to print in a static array. However, in the dynamic array, we don't pass that, but in a static array, we have to give the size, right? So here buffer reader is one more way of reading the input and printing it. How you're going to read the input? With this read line. This read line function will help you to read a complete line unless you reach the end of the file. Okay, unless you put the end of the file, you press enter or what. So as you press enter, it means become you have ended the line. For example, here, let me run this and show you once again. Now see, as I press enter, so enter means your end of the file. So as I press enter, it printed the whole line as it is. You can see it, right? So you can print as many as line here. There is no restriction. But if you use array, you have to specify the size. Okay. If you use dynamic array, then it is fine. But in static array, you need to give the size. In dynamic array also, uh, based on the memory, it will get fail. But in this read line, it will going to read complete line. So if they ask you this question also, so you should have an idea which function do we use to read a complete line. So this is the read line, and for this read line, what library you need to import? Buffer reader. Import Java IO buffered reader. See this is carefully buffered, key B is capital, R is also capital, and this buffer reader is what is the syntax of that? Like buffer reader object new buffer reader, just like you declare a class object. Inside this you have to declare this also. Now what is the meaning of this? It means that your input is coming from your keyboard, means you are typing here system.in, means you are giving the input from the keyboard. So that's why we pass this new input stream reader. It means that your input is from the keyboard. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, bro.
Great. Normally, when we work with the string, we run into like this. We use next line function when we want to work with the string data. So there are two way. Okay, as I explain you, first one is your read line, and second is your next line, which is prompt you to enter the string. So this program means is also the one way. Okay, now here, okay, here is giving why it is giving error. Next line. Sorry.
The second one is an int object.
Yes, yes, sorry. Yes. Yeah. So this program I think I have already discussed, but I'm just showing you this one. Like here with this sc dot next line, means there are two way of reading that, read line and next line. So in read line also you can use it, but when you want to read a complete line, next line is used for only to read word or character, a group of character or few token. Few token means a few word, but if you want to read a complete line, you should go for read line. And for this you don't need anything for implementing the next line except scanner input, java util scanner. So you just need that, and this scanner is used for what, reading an input. So just this thing you should remember.
Bro, I have a small doubt here.
Yeah, please.
Instead of using scanner, shall we use the star symbol so that we
Yeah,
can import all the required cases, right?
yes. See, it is working.
Yeah, bro. So shall we use a read line here?
Yeah, if you want you can use okay, yeah, in order to use read line you have to import a buffer reader also, right? This
Yes, bro.
one, this is different here. Import java.io buffer reader. This is a import java util, so they are two different way. You can write import java.io dot star, that you can write it, and then you can use this buffer reader. But you have to create the object of, means you need to create the object of this buffer reader. Yeah, this buffer reader is actually a class, and you are creating
Okay,
an
bro.
object of that, and with that object you will going to implement. So in case if you want to use this, you can put the star. So it is working. So this is also you can apply it. It's not a only thing is that the folder name you should be correct. Inside java you have a io folder. Inside this io exception, input stream reader, stream buffer, these all are the java files, and for that particular java file you need to create the object, and that's the reason it will, in that way it will work. Okay, now one more thing. enum data type. Have you heard this enum data type? You might have
Yes,
heard.
bro. In Python, I have heard about that.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the use of that? If you have any, have you ever tried it?
Yeah, bro. I am not much familiar about that. I think it will automatically adapt with the particular data type, whether it is
Correct. So enum data type is you can define any value to it. For that specify value, okay, let me explain this thing. For that particular specify value, you can get the ordering of that. You can get the index value of that, numbering of that. For example, here I declare public enum data type, and that enum name is my season. I created an enum data type here. I given a name season, and these are my value. You can specify those value in a curly braces. And here, with the help of for loop, I'm accessing that. So it's like a compile time. You are initializing a value to the enum. And once you run this, you can get all the value, and you can get the ordering of that also. For season as season dot value, in place of that, you can apply um, okay, sorry, here not wall will not come. Okay, 1 minute. So here only value you can apply it, but let me show you the ordering also. You can do it. Ordering, we can do it like suppose here you are whatever value you have read in this enum type, you are just printing that. But suppose what actually the use of enum data type is that you can get the ordering while printing. You can get the order of that. Okay, so here suppose s dot, let me try. Yeah, let me run this. So you can get the order of those values. Okay, you can see 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? 0 index start from 0, 1 2 3 4 5. As I said, you can get the ordering of that. You can get the value also. So enum is one data type whose ordering you can get it, whose value you can get it, and you can define your data type based on your requirement. Sorry, I think I made some mistake. Yeah. What happened? Yes. So you can see I'm getting the ordering as well as the variable name also. So enum is a data type whose value you can define as based on your user value. User value, okay, completely based on the user. Like here I have given winter, spring, summer. There is nothing values like this. I have given based on my requirement. Similarly, you can take enum as a weekdays, and you can initialize a value like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Based on your complete requirement. So here also I created a enum data type as a season, and then in my main function with the help of for loop I'm printing it. Once I print that, I'm just finding out the order, I'm finding out the name. So there are several function of this enum data type. Just if they ask you in the MTA exam, they will only ask you the how you declare the enum data type. So just remember, enum data type are declared like this. Enum season, public is not mandatory. Public when you will use this enum in some other class. If you are using in a same class, you won't need that. Okay, and with the help of this for loop, how this for loop is working, season s is your temporary variable, season dot value means this temporary variable will be initialized with all the value of this season value. What are the value here? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So based on that, it will going to print that. And let me run this and show you. For what it is giving error. Wait a minute, let me check it. Might be it is of no enum constant chapter 13. Enum examples. Okay, I forgot to add a comma here. Okay, again it is giving. Okay, here. Sorry, here also. You can give any value. I was just explaining you that you can assign with any values. Now see it is working. If you want Amit also you can give a name. If you want Narayan, if you want Anushka, any name you can give it here. And that also it will go into print. So what we are doing here, first, this for loop is printing your the content of enum. Okay. Next is season dot value of Saturday. What is the value of Saturday? Saturday only, right? When you use value of Saturday, season variable dot value of Saturday, same thing, right? If you use dot ordinal, then it will give you order. Monday order is what? 1. You can see that. Friday order is what? Friday is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it is printing 5. So for this enum data type we use. You can use month also here. Normally, like suppose in an online form, your date, month, and year they ask. So in the month, sometime they take 0, 1, 0, 2 till 12, right? So their enum data type we use it. Enum data type give you, with the help of this ordinal, give you the value of that. If you select January, it will enter in the database 1. If you enter February, it will select 02, 03, 04, 05, 06. Like that it goes. Am I clear to you?
Yeah.
Good. Now, most important part, static. So I told you static function means what? Here you see this. Here, whenever you want to do any mathematical operation, how you do in Java, you just need to write math.square root 4. In the C language, how we are doing that? If you remember, in a C language, we need to write like this. Hash include math.h. We need to import math library, then only we can able to perform mathematical operation, right? Similarly, here Java also, you need to import math library in order to use that. So actually means what? Whenever we import anything, it means that this math is your Java class, this is your class name, and inside that whatever function you wanted to use, you mention here. Okay. So here without static means what? Let me run and show you. Here you are using the class name here. That's why you don't need to add any import library here. You are using math Java len math class name. So it's not mandatory to add. But in case when you static function means what? I told you the earlier, static functions are can be called directly with the name of a class. You don't need to create an object of that. Do you remember that? In my early classes, I told you public static void main means static functions is why the static is added in public static, to tell you that you can access the class method name and variable name with the class name. You don't need to create an object, okay, all the time. So here you are using math function in order to run this. But in case suppose if you don't want to use this, then in that case what you're going to do, you just import static java len math. Means you are telling that I am using here, sorry, here you see that if you want to use that, you just need to import static java len math. Means you are importing here math class, and this class math, once you import it, you don't need to again call, or you don't need to add it in the code. You can directly call square roots. So now here, what is the advantage of adding this? It is now validating that this square root power absolute function is defined in this math class. So now you don't need to add math here. Here what we are doing, here we are adding math because we are not adding library here. That's why how your compiler will know that this is a math function you are doing. But here we have added at the start, so that's why you are using it. Are you getting? Anushka, Narayan, is it clear?
Yeah, bro, it's clear.
Yes.
Okay. Don't worry about the code. I will share with you today only with videos and the GitHub link. Last time also I've shared. Narayan, I think you were not there. Last time in the chat only I have shared the GitHub link with everyone.
I
Uh,
have that link, bro. I'm regularly visiting your site.
okay, great. Just download all the codes and run the Eclipse. Okay.
Sure, bro.
And now, uh, let me show you one more thing. That's an interesting thing. Now you see this. Now you tell me what difference you can see on the code from the previous code.
The system keyword is missing.
Yeah, correct. Why I have not added system? The reason is that the system is defined in this Java len. Okay, the system is defined in a Java len. You can see here java.len. So I have already used java.len star, so I don't need to use this. So when you use, it will still work. You let me run this and show you. See here why it is running, because you have imported import static. You have added this static keyword and you have added java len. So inside this java len, all the things will going to be added to your code, even the system also. So here, if you want, you can add it like this also. Import static java dot len dot star. That also you can add it here. Okay, sorry, what happened? Okay, it's showing unused import. Okay, if I comment,
Double
sorry,
slash, bro.
sorry, double slash. Oh, sorry. Uh, no, no. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, like this. You can write it down. It will be in the more detail. Means inside this Java len math, this function you are using here. So it is means it is telling you that if you want to if you don't remember the function, you can just put the star also. But because we are working on IDE, sometime it is unable to find out. But you can, if you run in a notepad, if you add this asterisk sign, even then it works. Okay, but if you want to specify more clearly, you can do it like this. So as I said, import java len system dot out, as you have already defined it here. So now you don't need to add a system here, because you have already added here. It means that you have already defined at the beginning only that you have already added system class. So once you added system class, while running, compiler will get it. Normally when we get an error, when compiler unable to find out any function, any variable belong to this class. But as you know, like we have already added here java len system, it will easily able to find it out. Okay, so that's the reason. Not only this mathematical operation, but if I write your name and Anushka, right? It will still work. It can print anything because I have already defined at the start that this function belong to system, and I have added here. Sorry, this one is and. Am I clear to you?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so like this we have to work. I will going to share the code. We have only 1 minute, less than 1 minute left. I will share the code by today and this video also. If you have any question, please ping on the Trello. Okay.
Sure, bro.
Okay, yeah. Anushka, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, then we'll connect in the next session and we will solve some quiz. I will start inheritance in the next session. Okay,
Okay,
this
bro.
okay. Yeah. Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye
I will
bye.
upload the videos and code. Okay.